To get rid of those pesky ads, request stories, listen to unlisted and bonus episodes, and to chat with the gang, smash that description link below. If you want to see uncensored evidence photos and follow along with this case, go to talkmurder.com.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Talk Murder Me podcast. My name is John. I'm sitting here with Jen and Nicole. We live stream every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join us there. You can also find us on any podcasting app, Talk Murder to Me. If you like this and like true crime, check out our sister podcast, Among the Dirt and Trees. Brianne, she's doing a fantastic job. That is True Crime Out in Nature. And yeah, she's got some really good stories there. And if you want to see the episode photos, hit the description below or talkmurder.com. Anyway, that's all I got. So I guess let's get it going. Tonight, we're going to Friday. 4 lesbians walk into a seedy bar, a quote, seedy gay nightclub in Brisbane. October 20th, 1989. 4 lesbians walk into a bar and order champagne.
They're celebrating?
Do you order champagne at a seedy bar?
Dun, dun, dun.
Maybe. If I was celebrating.
Y'all didn't think that was like funny?
No.
Yes.
Like the start of a bad joke?
It is the start of a bad joke.
Brisbane, Australia. I think I'm saying that right. Brisbane.
Lauren can yell at you if you're not.
Brisbane. We're going to Brisbane, Australia. We're going to a, quote, seedy gay nightclub.
Why isn't it just a seedy nightclub? Why did we have to use the...
Because it's a gay bar.
It's a gay bar. What the
Okay.
fuck? 4 lesbians were drinking champagne.
Brisbane, she says.
Brisbane.
Yeah,
So we're going to Brisbane. Let me show you 3 of these individuals.
3 out of the 4?
Here they are right here. Exclusive 9 News.
Where's the 4th person?
I'm assuming the 4th person is dead. Is that correct or incorrect?
Maybe the 4th person is alive.
Or the murderer?
So these are the suspects right here.
I don't want to sound like...
Then don't.
Yeah, then don't say it.
No,
Then let's move on.
No, wait, no, I was going to say, I don't want to sound like nationalist, but I'd say that
Nationalist?
but the lady in the middle looks Australian.
How would that be nationalist?
I don't know. She just looks Australian. I don't know.
They're all Australian.
Yeah,
I know they all are, but
literally.
but I would say that the lady
They
in the
all
middle,
talk like this and have kangaroos as pets.
that's not how they talk. That's not how they talk.
I swear to God, we did not have 10 shots in the break. I swear.
I don't want you guys to get bogged down with the names. I know there's 4, but there's one name and one person that matters for this episode. Okay. That's the ringleader of these 4 lesbians. All right.
Okay.
But just know that they're all 24 and 25 years old. 4 of them, 24, 25. They're split up into 2 partners.
So it's like a set of couples?
Double date.
A set of couples. Now, 2 of them, their name is Tracy. Okay, so that might get a little confusing.
Is it Tracy and Tracy or Tracy and someone else plus Tracy and someone else?
And I just told you not to get bogged down on that. Tracy says the following, quote, Tracy came up to me and said, come with me. And I just went. This is around 11 p.m. Like I said, October 20th, Friday nights, 1989. Tracy, the main character tonight, Tracey Wigginton.
Okay.
I was just about to ask which Tracy.
Which I'm probably going to be calling Wiggum, like Chief Wiggum.
Why can't you just call her
Call her
Tracy
Wiggs.
W?
Wiggs.
Wiggs. We'll call her Wiggs from now on.
Okay.
Tracey Wiggs is the main character. Wigginton. All right. Quote, Tracy came up to me and said, come with me. And I just went. Now, Tracy's the ringleader of this pack. This is 11 p.m. and they get into her car, all 4 of them, and they drive around for 20 minutes. So they leave this seedy lesbian bar after Tracy basically commands them to leave. They get into her car and she's not actually driving her car. Another person is, but they drive around for 20 minutes. They're looking for anyone, male or female, doesn't really matter. What do you think they're looking for? Like, what are they going to do? What's 4 lesbians driving in the car want to do with either a male or a female at midnight?
I have no idea where you're going with this.
That doesn't make any sense because no, I'm just trying to be PC here, like because
drugs, Wolfie says. Drugs and hugs.
Hugs and drugs. Those things do go together.
hugs and drugs.
This is the man they find right here. I'll put his photo on talkmurder.com. You can go there to the blog, talkmurder.com. You can comment too if you want to, and I'll comment back. And so this is the guy they find. Can you describe this guy for us?
He's an older gentleman, maybe in his early 50s. I don't know. He kind of looks a little old on the older side there. but he doesn't have gray hair, balding, brownish hair, white guy.
All right, so that's the man that they find. Now, this man, his name is Edward Baldock. He is 47 years old. He is a grandfather and a father of 5. They spot this man. He is actually really drunk at this point when they find him. Now, keep in mind, they're driving around in their car looking for somebody, and they find this man leaning against a pole, like a street lamp. He's really drunk. He literally just pissed on the pole. He is just completely effed up. In fact, he was so drunk that police, when they tested his blood alcohol content level, was 0.31.
Whoa!
Which 0.08 is about 2 beers, and that's the legal driving limit here in U.S.
What is it in Australia?
Probably like 0.30 or 300. They're always drunk there.
0.30 and 0.300 are the same. You do realize that, correct?
I don't know what it is there. I mean, I guess they just drive
Probably pretty similar.
They just get in their dune buggies and play with their dingoes. Edward Baldock, when they checked his BAC level, was 0.31. That is really high. That's probably like 10 beers at least. It's probably how much gin, drank today.
No, this is what I drank. This is what I have not drank.
He was walking home to his wife. They've been married for quite a while, and they were happily married, and he's walking home. He just leaning against the pole just to collect himself before he makes that journey home. 4 lesbians pull up in their car, and they offer him a ride. He accepts because he doesn't want to walk, and he gets in the back seat, and then Tracey Wigginton, takes his hand and clasps it in hers and is holding it like their boyfriend and girlfriend.
Odd. Okay.
Very odd. They're in the back seat, and then she is all cuddled up with him, and she asked if he wanted a good time, and he says yes. Now, keep in mind, she's a lesbian, so she's not interested in this guy. So obviously, she's playing him.
Is she looking for monetary exchange for said things?
Perhaps. This is where they go, right here. So this is, and Lauren, you can tell us if you've been here, the Olay Park in Queensland. This is actually the exact spot where they went, down here.
The trash cans?
And I verified this. There was a news station that had, and I actually looked up the exact spot in this park. So it's right down here. They drove with this man. So right here next to the Brisbane River. What is it? Brisbane?
Brisbane.
Right here next to the Brisbane River. And they go into this park.
Why even bother asking?
He does it to bother us.
Which was at the time a abandoned yacht club, I found. So I guess here's like the old dock or whatever for the yacht club.
Oh man, that sounds a lot less like exciting than what I thought you meant. Like I thought you meant that there were some abandoned yachts there, and that maybe there were
Who has abandoned yachts?
Yeah, no shit.
people that belong to the abandoned yacht club. They have a club of people who have abandoned their yachts and are for taking for us Talk Murder to Me owners, so that we can finally get our boat called Yacht Murder to Me.
They pull up to this park. No one's out there. Wigginton gets out with this man and they start undressing. They go right down to the river and he gets naked, all except his socks. She promised him a good time and apparently she's going to give it to him.
You can't skinny dip with your socks on.
He is wasted at this point. He has no idea what's going on. She walks up behind him. He is completely naked except for his socks, and she pulls a knife from her back pocket. And this is what she would later say.
Tracey Wigginton later said in her police interview, "I walked around him. I took my knife out of my back pocket. I said nothing and stabbed him."
Damn.
So this is just all of a sudden, out of nowhere. At this point, Edward starts screaming, although he's still really, really drunk. He tries to fight back and she stabs him again.
"I stabbed him on the other side of the neck, and I continuously stabbed him. I grabbed him by the hair, pulled him back, stabbing him in the front of the throat. At that stage, he was alive."
All right, I'm going to show you the women involved. So I'll put this on talkmore.com. This is Tracey Wigginton up here, all right? And this is 2 of the other ones, which I can't, they're all the same to me. There's a lot of people. But this is the main one right here, Tracey Wigginton.
Okay.
At this point, he is spurting blood. She stabbed him multiple times and only in one spot. The first was the back of the neck, and then she continued to stab him in his neck. That's the only spot she would stab him. One of the lesbians in the car, Lisa Pachinski, she collapses on the ground and she's crying. She's bawling her eyes out. "Oh my God, what is happening? She clearly cannot handle her murder. Now, what I didn't mention earlier is that when this guy, this grandfather and father of 5, 47-year-old Edward Baldock, starts to get naked, the ringleader, Tracey Wigginton, thinks that she can't handle him by herself. So she actually runs back to the car and she asks all 3 of the other lesbians if any one of them could help her. They all refuse, but Lisa Paczynski, she did say she'll come up there. But when she got there, she got too shy. She didn't want to participate in the murder. She just collapses and now she's bawling.
Did they know that the 3 in the car, did they know that she was planning to kill him?
Yeah, they didn't.
Oh.
But like I said, this is, why do you think this is?
Wait, you said yeah, they didn't.
No, yeah, they did. But why do you think this is? All right, let's go back for a second. We started in a seedy gay bar, 4 lesbians, they get in their car, they're riding around to find somebody, anybody, male or female. She is going to pretend she's some kind of sex worker, prostitute, and get this guy in a random park and stab him. So why? What's the motive here? Obviously, the guy doesn't have money because he's walking. He's not driving his car. I mean, he may have like $20-$30 or whatever.
But he probably looked wealthy. Look at that picture you showed us. He was in a bow tie. You don't wear bow ties to non-fancy events.
Before the murder, she goes back to the car and asks them if anyone can help her. Lisa says she would, but she says, quote, "I need help. This bastard's too strong." So now Lisa and her go back, but Lisa got scared. She didn't want to participate in the murder. So that's when Tracey Wigginton decided to just go in all at it herself. And she is the one that is stabbing this guy.
I stabbed him in the back of the neck and cut the nerves. I sat and watched him die.
This man was stabbed at least 15 times. I saw in one report it said 24 times. 15 to 24 times in the neck with 2 knives. She actually pulled out another knife, a small other knife. She used 2 knives to stab this man in the neck. And now she's sitting down and watching him die. They were drinking champagne and now all of a sudden she is watching this dude just die. It's just so random, right? Like, what the fuck? Like, what is the motive here? There's
feels
just
very random.
no motive at all, it seems. In fact, when police did arrest these women, they actually thought that Wigginton was the mistress of this guy, which they didn't even know each other. This was they weren't related. They had no idea who this guy was they picked up. But at this point, she is watching him die right there in the park, right by the water, right by the river. She didn't waste any time after that. She had stabbed this guy 15 times in the neck for a reason, and now she's just sitting there watching him die, and she's wasting her time. And this is from the Courier Mail. Quote, "The blood gurgling from Baldock's almost severed head looked like a fountain. The fountain of blood is coming out. She is watching it. He is face up, laying on his back. Wigginton jumps on top of this man because she is tired of wasting her time. She did this for a reason, and she's more importantly tired of wasting the blood. She jumps on top of this dying man and she puts her mouth to the neck and she starts drinking and feasting on the blood spurting out of his arteries. She's a lesbian vampire."
What?
All right.
Damn.
Kim Jervis, who was also there, is one of the ladies in the car. She was waiting and she saw this event and said the following, that Tracey Wigginton, quote, "looked like a person would look if they had just sat down to a 3-course dinner," end quote. Lisa told the detectives the following.
Lisa Paczynski told detectives in 1989, "I knew she was going to kill him, but I couldn't stop her because of her craving for blood. Have you ever seen a shark frenzy? A feeding frenzy?" From the Courier Mail, in her chilling police interview a few days after the attack, Wigginton said she felt nothing as she stabbed Baldock and even sat down to smoke a cigarette while she watched him die.
This is him. This is how he was found. Look at this. Look at the stabs.
Dang.
Now he's face down, but this is there's no stab wounds here in the back.
Only on the neck.
It's only on the neck. She stabbed this guy in the neck 15 times for a reason, so she can drink the blood coming out. There's that main artery right there. She put her mouth right on that artery and just started drinking. It's warm. She's drinking it. She's feasting. Just like we ate all that chocolate earlier.
Fuck, stop.
She's just
making me want to puke.
I didn't do it.
I mean,
I'm not the lesbian vampire.
Lauren has a really great question. How did these women find each other? It can't have been in the awesome seedy club with banging tunes.
Banging tunes. I feel like this is 1985. I feel like wasn't Joy Division really popular in that time? So they are obviously gothic. Let me go back to the photo right quick.
Like,
you
what-
can
what-
tell that they're kind of gothic, right?
No.
Or
I couldn't really tell. Like, I don't see heavy eyeliner.
yeah, but they're wearing black and black hair.
The one on the right is wearing white.
Yeah.
Well, she's the ringleader. Yeah,
I know. Like, I'm not getting overt
I can't
gothic
tell.
vibes.
Can I be totally honest with you? Can you go back to that picture? I can't tell anything about any of those women.
Yeah.
Except the middle person is from Australia.
But they're all from Australia.
that is very racist, Jen.
It's not racist. It's nationalist.
They're all Australian.
I know they are, but like the one in the middle looks Australian, and I stick to my story. But I can't tell anything else other than that about any of them. And I would have to say that you would have to give me more proof that they were gothic or even lesbian from that picture. You can't tell that someone, you especially nowadays, you can't judge someone on one characteristic of themselves from one picture unless they're wearing a T-shirt that says "I am blank." Like you can't just judge someone on
Even
their
then,
appearance.
they could be making a joke.
Yeah, you don't know like which one of 54 genders he, she, or it may be these days.
Well, to be fair, it is not a gender. It is not a descriptor that people use. No, it's not.
It's they. Anyway.
They?
Oh
Yes.
my God, move on.
What do you mean they? If it's
Jesus
one
Christ.
person,
Move
it's
on
not-
before I get angry because I'm already angry, but I don't want to get angry out loud.
Okay, 4 lesbians walk into a bar. With 2 5-inch blade knives used by the same person, Wigginton, Tracey Wigginton. She had stabbed this guy 15 times, only in the neck, only around the back of the neck. Surprise attack to drink the blood. Now, Tracey Wigginton is a big girl, okay? At the time, she was 250 pounds, but she's over 6 feet. She's a big
She's
person.
tall.
Like my size.
No, I'm not talking about overweight. She's just like a big built, like 6'2".
Like my size.
She's tall. She's
Yeah.
very tall.
With
It'd be like
250
if
pounds,
you see me
yeah.
walking around, yeah.
So the fact that she needed help, like, I mean, she didn't need help. This guy is not 250 pounds, but I don't know.
Well, it's hard to hold someone down if you're drinking their blood.
But she told detectives in 1989 that when she stabbed him first in the back of the neck, quote, hard enough to drive the knife up to the hilt.
Ooh.
I then withdrew the knife and stabbed him in the side of the neck. I stabbed him in the other side of the neck, and I continuously stabbed him, end quote. So who asked about how did they meet, Lauren?
Yeah, Lauren asked.
Because Lauren's from here, so she's like,
How did this merry band get together?
So let's talk about friendships here. Tracey Wigginton, the ringleader, is kind of the outlier in this situation. All 3 of the other girls, and I'm going to tell you their names. However, like I said, don't get bogged down into them. They all got sentencing, but to make this simple, let's not get bogged down into them. But I will tell you their names just to do it, right? You have Tracy Ann Waugh, who is 24, Lisa Paczynski, which is 25, and Kim Jervis, which was 24. And then obviously Tracey Wigginton, the main one. Okay. The other ones obviously were involved, but they're,
More bystanders.
yeah. So Tracey Wigginton here is the outlier. All the other girls knew each other at first. Kim Jervis was the lover of Tracy Waugh, and they were friends, really good friends with Lisa Paczynski, a former heroin addict. Let me show you Lisa right quick. Let's put a face to these names. All right. So this is Lisa right here. Paczynski. That's her. That's Lisa Paczynski at the time. Okay. And this is, I know it kind of looks like the other one, but it's not. And this is Waugh. This is Tracy Waugh.
Okay.
All right. And this is the last one, Jervis. That was the one in the middle that Jen thinks racially looks like an Australian.
Not racially, nationally. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
And this is Kim Tracey Wigginton right here.
She looks fun.
Fun as in a lesbian way.
As in a vampire, apparently.
Kim Jervis was a lover of Tracy Wad. They were friends with a former heroin addict named Lisa Paczynski. They met Tracey Wigginton only weeks before. They only known her for like 3 weeks. This is a 3-week thing.
The other girls had a history, but Tracey Wigginton was the newcomer.
Exactly. She's the newcomer, the new girl, the mean girl. Is that what it's called? Mean Girls. The main Tracey Wigginton and Lisa Paczynski, they became a couple because the other two girls were already a couple. So now Lisa became the property of Tracey Wigginton.
Oh.
It was
The property of?
It was a domineering relationship.
Sounds unhealthy.
Extremely
Toxic?
Extreme toxic, sort of, yeah. But she was dominated by Tracey Wigginton's aggressiveness.
From the People newspaper, May 1st, 1994, quote, as they lay in bed together, Wigginton complained she was hungry. To please her, Paczynski used a tourniquet to pump up the veins in her arm, then nicked her wrist so that Wigginton could suck her blood. Paczynski later said she dominated me more than anyone has in my life. She had some sort of inner power.
They're sitting in bed. Now, they've only known each other for weeks. And Tracey Wigginton says the following. She says, quote, I can't eat solid foods. I need blood to survive on. So they only known her for 3 weeks. So for these 3 weeks, she is only drinking blood. That is how she lives.
She doesn't eat any other food?
She eats no other food. She is only drinking human blood.
Oh, no.
Is that healthy? Like, can you survive off that?
I don't like that. I mean, there's a lot of iron.
Yeah, but like, that's it.
Don't look at me.
Ew, that's consisting of a lot of blood.
I mean, I would like put in recipes and stuff. I wouldn't.
Oh,
maybe freeze
God.
it, like a freeze pop of blood, like a cherry.
Oh, nasty.
It doesn't taste like cherries, John. It tastes like...
Maybe get that rich, nice, juicy menstrual type of blood that's real thick.
Just stop
It's
right
like
there.
metallic. Like...
Metallic.
Stop it.
Metallic.
I mean, I used to get really bad bloody noses when I was a kid.
I think Brittany just got here when I said the thing about menstrual.
Colleen just joined. She's a little gift to herself, was becoming a Supremo. Welcome, Colleen. Here's what you've missed. And like, it would make me sick, all of the blood I used to get bloody noses really badly when I was a kid.
One of my friends growing
you
up
would
had
drink
bloody
it?
noses.
It kind of like runs down your throat, and it's awful. It's awful. Ugh. Like, that's what I keep, like, I can taste it when talking about this. Makes me want to kind of...
Well, tell us how it tastes.
Like metal.
Like blood.
Is
Like,
it sweet?
no.
Sour?
No.
Yeah, it's
just
metallic,
blood.
yeah.
It's metallic. That's...
I kind of want to taste them right
So
now.
Cut yourself, because that ain't gonna be us. Nope.
I mean, like,
Give
don't
yourself a
harm
paper cut.
yourself. But like, if you want to stick like get like a diabetes test strip and then taste it. I don't
Like
know.
pennies, Wolfie
So-
said. That's a good description.
Yeah.
For weeks, at least for weeks, the only thing that they saw her consume was blood. They'd be sitting in the bed, listening to Talk Murder Me, watching true crime TV.
Back in 1985.
1985, they're sitting there watching Netflix, flipping the channel, boop, boop, boop. And she's like, man, I'm getting hungry. And then Lisa Paczynski was like, okay, well, feeding time. She slits her wrist, nicks herself, and then she puts her wrist over to Tracey Wigginton, and she's like,
No. Oh. No, I don't like that.
That
No.
is fucked.
That's terrible.
that's what happened. What the fuck?
Like,
You
what?
read it
No.
right there.
Like, oh, no.
She said she
I'm
pumped.
no longer hungry
She
for
said
lunch.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
like,
just blood. It is.
I was feeling Chinese food, but like now I'm not hungry. Like,
Fuck, you know what would have been great for this episode? We should have drank Bloody Marys.
Oh, too bad you didn't give us a hint.
yeah, you don't give hints anymore,
So-
John.
I get your hint.
Listen. It's all on you. Like, we don't do cocktails because we don't know what to make. So we've been drinking beer in a shot, and I'm okay with that because I really enjoy beer. But like, you used to give us hints for us to make custom cocktails, and now you don't. So that's on you.
My Favorite Murder doesn't do hints.
Well, fuck My Favorite Murder. We're not My Favorite Murder. If that's what you're looking for, then go home.
Oh my god.
Or tune in to My Favorite Murder.
Well, we don't want you here. We're a different audience.
All right. I mean, right there, it says that Paczynski used a tourniquet to pump her veins in her arm, then nicked her wrist so that Wigginton could suck her blood. So they were living with each other. As soon as they met, they moved in, they were living with each other. So, I mean, I don't know if you can live off blood. I don't know. Never tried it. But I will tell you that if she was sneaking food in, she was doing a damn good job because they only saw her consume blood. So at this
She
point...
had to have been eating good too.
So at this point, go back to the murder where she's feasting. One of the women in the car said she looked like she just had a 3-course meal. So she is drinking all this blood. Like she is so hungry for blood. It makes you think that, yeah, it was kind of legit. You know what I'm saying? Like she was starving and that's why she was drinking it all of like a fountain.
Was this her first murder for bloodlust?
I do have to say, like, there are better ways if you're low on iron to solve that. For example, taking iron supplements or chewing ice.
Yeah,
you don't need
I
to
wonder
drink
if
blood.
she was anemic.
Yeah, but no, she has to get fed. It's sustenance.
So
it's got proteins
But
and stuff
maybe
in it.
she was craving it because she was anemic.
But she
Yeah.
was also hungry.
Well,
Listen.
I think there's something wrong with her.
I
but
would
that's
say-
just me.
yeah.
She would drink her blood at least 4 times a week.
Tracy has mind power, said Tracy Waugh.
Ooh.
You can't stop yourself from doing what she tells you to do.
A week after all these ladies meet, they know that Tracey Wigginton is starving because the blood that she's consuming, she would later say that Lisa, her new girlfriend, has a weak heart. And the 4 times a week feeding festival that they go through where she nicks her wrist, it's not working. She needs more than that to survive. All right, she is a vampire.
Yeah, you need like food.
So they plan this whole thing so she can be fed, you know. They gather at Kim and Tracy's flat in Brisbane, Australia. The walls were decorated with graveyard pictures, and there was even a, quote, stolen headstone in the middle of the apartment.
that's not
No,
cool.
no, that's bad juju.
I know. This is the actual headstone that they found right here. Michael Ryan, in memory of Michael Ryan.
Did they know Michael Ryan? Like, you don't steal someone's headstone
Yeah,
who you
that's
don't
fucked
know.
up.
No, I guess they
Anyone's.
just fucking were listening to The Cure and Joy Division and just like, let's go steal this headstone. But
I like The Cure.
this is so they had photos of gravestones and
It's Friday.
You see-
I'm in love.
you see all these photos. These are like actual photos of graves. Like these are all Polaroids or whatever, posted all over their wall. And then they had this actual tombstone sacred to the memory of Michael Ryan.
That's awful.
Yeah, isn't that fucked?
Yeah.
Who does
You
that
don't
shit? I mean, look, it
steal
still got the
someone's
dirt.
headstone.
It's like got where they took it out the dirt.
What the hell?
They didn't know him, or it was just
Random.
Then that's worse. Like, if it was your brother or like your friend and it meant something to you, well, number
Even
one,
still,
you
you
don't
don't take it.
steal it. Like, because
Those
you're
things
gonna
are very
lose-
expensive.
They
also.
are expensive, but like, why would you take that? Like,
Yeah, but-
oh, look at me! I got this headstone, so cool. No,
Well,
Do you
there's
want-
clearly other mental things going on in her mind.
I mean, yeah,
Clearly.
but like, why would you steal that if you have no connection to that
Why
person?
is she consuming someone's blood as her meal? You know,
I
like
mean-
something wrong up there.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you go back to that picture of her, let me give you my interpretation.
Of what? Her being crazy?
Yeah, it's yeah.
She's fun from what Nicole the lesbian said.
Why do we
Sorry.
have to categorize the going on?
All right. So you think she has some mental issues going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, mental disorders plus anemia.
I can't eat solid foods. I need blood to survive on. So at this point, they're just,
You can't eat solid foods. It's called a smoothie.
it's not murder. It's just survival at this point. Now, they would later say that they didn't really think this was real. They thought she was just kind of bullshitting. Like, yeah, okay, she's going to kill someone and drink their blood. Sure. Okay, whatever. But they still went with her, right? The plan is actually really brilliant. This is a good fucking plan to bury a body.
All right, we'll take notes.
Okay, take notes on this one because I've never heard this before and I think this is brilliant. The initial plan was to kill someone random, like they did, and then take the body after she drank the blood. They had already mapped this out. They were going to take the body, the dead body, put it in the trunk, drive to a cemetery with a freshly buried grave. So what happens, like when someone dies, when you go to the funeral, the grave is already dug.
Right.
So those people, whoever dug the grave, dug it the prior day or whatever, a couple days before.
Yeah.
They were going to dig up some dirt like in the hole 6 feet under and put the body there
Above the stone that was already there.
No, but no, there's nothing. It's just a big hole in the ground. The grave is just the hole, the 6 feet hole. So they were going to take the body and bury it deeper than the 6 feet in the grave, covered up. So the next day when the funeral procession goes on and they lower the casket, they would actually be lowering the casket over the dead body, which is pretty fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I'll give it to
I
them.
mean, dude,
that was a good idea.
It is a really fucking good idea if you can get away with it. Because, number one, they're never going to find it. And if it smells, oh well, it's a fucking cemetery. Plus, like, are they really going to dig up or pull up a dead body? And who the fuck would ever think of that? I think it's one of the best ideas I've ever heard.
That is a smart plan.
Some serial killer is listening to this and is like, oh, all right, perfect.
Well, not even a serial killer, just a killer. But I would say that it would be a smarter idea to take the dirt from a grave that was fresh, like already dug and covered, and to dig like 4 feet down and then to cover it up again because you don't have dirt that's
murdered
compact.
body is on top.
The murdered body's on top, but if you put everything back, they're not going to look there because the person was just buried.
Yeah, but they can tell.
It would work too.
Yeah, but no, you can if you dig up something, you can tell it's freshly dug. The dirt looks different. It's not weathered like the other dirt.
Right.
So they'll know if someone has dug up something.
But if that body was buried the same day that you put it in there, then what is the difference? Like if they had a funeral.
So you're just saying, why don't you put it on top of the casket instead of the bottom of the casket? I don't understand.
Right.
Like what?
No.
It would work as well.
What the fuck?
It would work.
It would work as well because number one, if you're going under the 6 feet, if you're going 8 feet down, all right, you still have to dig.
We don't need to go into
you don't
this.
have
Still
to
digging
dig.
2 feet of packed dirt versus digging up like 5 feet.
They're not going to go look in there and inspect it. Like you just got to cover the body,
Right. So why would you work harder, not smarter?
So you're talking about going to a freshly dug grave and then digging up 3 feet or 4 feet to put the body in and then covering it
It's
instead
easier
of
than-
jumping down there and digging up 1 foot and putting the body down there.
Yeah,
Like, what
because it's easier to get out of, and you have to
What to
go
get
down
out of?
6
What the
feet. You have to go down 6 feet into the dirt and then climb
I feel
out.
like we are arguing over something that is
Jesus
not that
Christ.
important.
It's
They
like
are both
fucking-
great ideas.
You just do parkour to get back up. It's not that big of a deal.
Not everyone is capable of parkour, sir.
That was the idea. Now let's talk about Tracey Wigginton right here. What kind of life do you think she had growing up? This is her as a young vampiress.
I mean, that looks like a professional mall photo right there.
I would say that she did not care for the life that she grew up in.
She looks like a young vampiress.
Potentially.
Long hair.
All right, so this is Tracey Wigginton. Her life story, which is the main character, that's what we're going to get into it. Look at this photo. Tell me what you think about this. Can you tell what her life is like? This is her right here in the back.
A happy family?
I would say that she was forced to follow the norms of her family.
Does her family look wealthy?
I don't know if I would say wealthy, but
Middle
they
class. They look
okay.
like they're in a good spot.
Happy. Everyone seems happy. I don't know.
So her family was extremely wealthy growing up. Private school, whatever. Her family, they were millionaires. So they were in the polo clubs and all this stuff. However, for her, she was the outcast in her schools. It started from middle school, the strange behavior, and then she became known in her later grades as a, quote, aggressive lesbian. So she was very outgoing, very controversial, always getting in trouble with just the outcast, just being different. However, she did have a very good life as far as financials growing up. I'm not saying that she wasn't abused or whatever. In fact, she would later claim, and multiple psychiatrists who have diagnosed her would also agree with this statement, that between the ages of 8 and 11 years old, she was constantly molested and raped by her grandfather. So that's
awful.
That had a huge impact. During those times, as I said earlier, she was the outcast. So even at 8 years old, she became
I just want to know what you mean by aggressive lesbian. Like she was open about her sexuality and forced it upon other people. Is that what you mean? Like, or was she was a lesbian and was like physically like, what do you mean by aggressive lesbian? I don't know if I like that term.
That's a good question. She was expelled for, quote, molesting other pupils,
Well,
end quote.
that's not okay.
So if that tells you what kind of aggressive lesbian, I'm not using the word aggressive lesbian because I made it up. This was actually in the report. She was the outcast. Look at her family again. I couldn't tell if this is her grandfather or not. I tried to look it up, but it's the photo actually said these are her maternal parents in the back. So I'm guessing, and this is her niece. I'm guessing that that's her grandparents. I'm not 100% sure though, but they were millionaires. And look how tall she is. I mean, she might be on a platform, but she's a big girl. You know, she's a big girl. You
Tall
know what I'm
family.
saying? Tall family. Yeah. So between the 8 and 11, she was horribly molested, apparently, from what the psychiatrist would later agree with when they did their diagnosis. She was granted 35,000 euros as an inheritance from her grandfather, which is about $75,000 to $80,000 today in real money, American dollars, not euros. That's fake.
Real dollars.
I mean, euros, aka FTX cryptocurrency. Stupid.
Bitcoin.
All right. So she was granted 35. Jen, stop looking at the live chat. She was granted 35,000 euros as an inheritance, but she quickly spent all of it on a lesbian marriage. She spent all of it to her new wife, and she actually, after that, had to get a job as a bouncer in a gay nightclub to subsist because she had no other prospects or whatever, and she spent all of her inheritance. So if you go look at that picture again, just look at it right quick. You can tell that like the hat and stuff, you can tell that the family's got money.
I mean, I wouldn't have known, like...
You don't think so? Okay.
I wouldn't have guessed that from I mean, hey, it's one photo.
It's a family photo.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been taken
But
outside in their backyard. You don't know that.
I don't have photos like... I mean, I have photos of me like this now, but back in the day, I don't have photos like this, you know?
Small photo.
Well, it looks like a typical JCPenney
Yeah.
like photo. I don't know if I would say that she was wealthy because she has a photo like that. I mean, she was probably like,
But anyway, they were wealthy.
She wanted a baby real bad. So, quote, she and the club owner had sex in front of 6 friends. She became pregnant but miscarried, end quote. She also had a live-in lover at the time of all this. Her name was Donna Stabe, but she didn't know about it, so we're not talking about her. She wasn't involved in the murder, but she did have an obsession, just like her girlfriend Wigginton, with horror movies, which they made. So this is the 80s. So the Satanic Panic. Mm-hmm. So the horror movie, obsession with horror movies is so to fucking I, right? Mm-hmm. Like,
yeah,
H.P. Lovecraft.
You're not drinking people's blood, though.
But back in the day, obviously, anyone that liked that horror movies and read that stuff, was Satan worshipers. So that's just a term of the time, I guess.
From the People newspaper, May 1st, 1994, the night before the murder, they repeatedly watched a sequence of a man being shot in the head, his skull exploding over and over again in slow motion.
So let's talk about her psychology. She underwent hypnosis. The doctors determined, quote, unanimously in their belief that this was the real deal, end quote.
Following the release of the details of the hypnosis, the media latched on to one incendiary quote. I'd like to slice the top of someone's head and say, think, let me see you think.
She boasted that she was, quote, the devil's wife. She was obsessed with devil worship and the occult. At this time, she would only go out at night. She would never go out during the day. Well, she doesn't look that white, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I guess this is before the murder, but...
I mean, that pic is like, dang, like she looks very energetic, very...
Yeah, wouldn't have guessed vampire from that photo.
No, would not have guessed vampire, but may have guessed like very... what's the word I'm looking for? Like extrovert, very extrovert.
Yeah.
So she would only go out during the nighttime. She would never go out during the day, just like in my favorite movie, Twilight. So she was fascinated by black magic and death. She also avoided mirrors, which is that a thing? I guess it is.
I think like the vampire thing is that you can't see your reflection.
Yeah, but why would you avoid them? I don't know.
Well,
what if she?
I guess you.
What if she?
It's a vampire thing.
What if she didn't like her own appearance though?
But she can't see it. I guess you would avoid buying it because it would save you money. You wouldn't have to go to Kmart and buy a mirror or Target.
I need a new mirror in my room.
Tracy Ann Waugh said about Wigginton, quote, she was a devil worshiper who could disappear, leaving only her cat's eyes visible. At the time, she was drinking Pakinski's blood, but she had a weak heart, like I said, and she couldn't give her any more blood. Before they met her, what was she living on? Well, she was going to butcher shops and collecting blood from pigs and goats. So this is her at the time. This is probably right at the time right here of her. So that's her right there. She got pentagrams and tattoos. I mean, this is Satan incarnate right here.
She doesn't look like Satan incarnate.
So how did they get arrested? They're planning obviously to bury this guy under a grave, under a coffin. Didn't work out because she actually forgot her bank card. They drove back to the scene after that. They were going to go back the next morning, early in the morning, take the body to the cemetery.
So they weren't going to take him right away before he started to like decompose and smell?
Apparently not. But they drove back to the scene because Wigginton forgot her bank card, and they were stopped by a routine patrol officer who was just doing regular checks, and Lisa Paczynski, her lover, didn't have her license and was driving Tracey Wigginton's car. The next morning, also, the body was found by two walkers in the park, and this is what they saw right here. This is the body. This is how they saw it. So you see the sock still on.
Yeah. And something's around his wrist.
Tied up.
I guess that's his shirt.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe.
There's actually video footage of her going to show where she killed the body, like literally the next day. They arrested her, and she was just an open book. Yeah, I did it. This is where I put it. You know, and she was boasting for this.
Interesting.
100% boasting. I'll put those interviews on talkmurder.com. I didn't want to play them here because YouTube's been kind of fucking mad at me lately for playing shit I shouldn't. So inside Edward's shoes, look at this. What do you see here?
An envelope.
That's her bank card.
Oh, it's a bank card.
So what had happened is Edward, before this murder, before the knife stabbings, she had dropped her card and Edward had thought it was his, so he tucked it in his own shoe. So obviously when they get there, the last place that they're going to look is inside this guy's shoe, his loafers. But that's where it was, just right there, the shoe.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts? No, you guys don't like
No,
this.
I'm thinking like even if she got away with it, it would have only been for so long, you know?
Yeah.
The police thought it was his mistress because obviously they found the body, they found her card, and then they linked the card to the night before of her being stopped. It was obvious and easy at that point. The three girls were arrested at first. They didn't arrest Tracey Wigginton until later because they wanted to build up a case first because they didn't want her to claim insanity since she was the actual killer here. So anyway, Lisa Paczynski, the one who was on the ground crying, she's the one that initially confessed and said, okay, here's everything that happened. And when they went to arrest Wigginton, it was actually during the daytime. So they like brought her out of her house, of her apartment with, you know, where Lisa was living. They brought her out. And since it was during the daytime, like her body disintegrated like in the sunlight. Jen's like, okay.
He has no idea what you just said.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, I do. It's like Twilight when Edward was shimmering during the Volturi scene in Rome.
So she pleaded guilty immediately. She was sentenced to life in prison. 3 others pleaded innocent. They claimed that Wigginton had, quote, used her occult powers, and Kim Jervis, the ringleader before Tracey Wigginton, wore a gold cross, like a symbol, and that was their protection. They were all 3 real close friends, but
Interesting
Tracey,
that they wore a cross as protection, though, because isn't that like opposite of vampire culture?
But they claim that Wigginton used her, quote, occult powers to break that cross off Kim Jervis's neck, leaving them all powerless. So Lisa was guilty of murder. She was sentenced to life in prison. This is her right here. That's her. Boom. Is that a cell phone?
It's probably, I mean, in the 80s? No, not in 85. It might be a calculator.
What? Dude, that's a fucking cell phone,
No,
dude.
this is 1985.
Dude, that's a fucking iPhone. What are you talking about?
It's a calculator.
Why would she be carrying a calculator? Was she...
Because it's the 80s. I don't know, but they weren't around in the 80s. I mean, the cell phones weren't around in the 80s.
Dude, it's like those images. It's like proof
This
that time travel.
with the sunglasses. Yeah.
I love those fucking things, man. Jervis was sentenced to 18 years for manslaughter. Which don't really worry about those people. She claimed that she was under a spell. This is her right here. So she actually walked free of everything. She broke the spell. That's her mom.
Dang.
Her mom's like, this fucking bitch.
My daughter wasn't hanging out with those people.
All right. The lawyers of all three of the girls claimed that they were picking up this victim as a, quote, elaborate practical joke. And then they also claimed that the chain was a, quote, protective crucifix.
Kim had worn a cross on a chain around her neck, and the chain had broken. And once that broke, she didn't get it fixed, didn't put it back on. That's when Tracey started talking to Kim like she did on Monday night. Once that cross came off, Kim didn't have any protection.
Interesting.
So she was sentenced to life. I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, that seems appropriate.
Yeah.
What do you guys think on live chat? Life?
Wolfie thinks it was a cigarette case.
Oh, that's fair.
That is,
Yeah.
that's
Or
good.
like one of those key cases where you like copy a key.
So
Well,
this
she did
is,
have a cigarette in her hand, too.
this is 1985, sentenced to life. I mean, what do you guys think that was a good outcome?
For murdering and drinking his blood? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think on live chat? And really quick before we end this, if you want to read this headline, Nicole.
Exclusive. Vampire killer Tracey Wigginton's disturbing new posts.
So she was actually paroled in 2012.
Oh.
what?
She is free, baby.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
This is her right here. Yeah, this is fucking awesome.
She's still subsisting on blood?
I don't know, probably.
Let's see. I want to see the post.
I guess the rule in Australia is if someone is on parole, they're technically still a prisoner-ish in a weird way. So the newscasters can legally not interview them, but they get right close to her and they do the story without talking to her. It's really weird.
So it's like they can cover her life because she's still technically a prisoner, but they don't have to ask her any questions.
They cannot ask her questions, but they'll get like right next to her and do the story about her. Not only was she paroled in 2012, but in 2019, the journalist at 9 News Australia found her Facebook page. She is referring to herself now under a new identity of Oberon Fairchild. She's living in Tambourine and she is posting on her Facebook that she's back, baby. And that she's ready to suck some blood. I don't know.
Well, it looks like she's eating good in prison.
I didn't want to go there, but yeah,
Colleen did say earlier, she was like, that ain't just from drinking blood, dude.
It looks like she's been eating more than blood. And
dude, I did not want to go there, but I was thinking that like, what the fuck?
Oberon Fairchild is our new name of our murderer, Tracey.
Holy
shit. She has denied being a vampire, but she just wants to drink their blood. It sounds like she needs to see the medical person, the doctor.
She's out. What the fuck are y'all doing in Australia, yo? You're like Canada. What the fuck?
But why is she out?
You tell me.
But I just want to know why she's out.
I
I'm
don't
allowed
know.
to go on parole
How did
and
that
people
happen?
can't ask her questions.
God damn. I don't know, man. Dude, not in America. That would
You can't say that, though, because there are definitely people
There
who
are
have been
definitely people
paroled
here in
and
America who
out.
are
Yeah,
paroled
but-
before they need to
So-
be.
I mean, it's
Arrested
maybe not
in
Canada
19
level, but you know.
1985 and released in 2012. What is that? Like, I don't know. What is that? I mean, I'm
mean,
1985, so
30,
So she was 25 years.
27 years.
well, so her sentence was actually 27 years to life. So she got,
Her 27 years. Was she on good behavior because she was eating more than blood?
dude.
Listen, like I'm not making fun of her, but listen, you need to make sure that you are making sure that these criminals are being treated fairly. She killed a man to drink his blood.
We can't turn the accent off, guys. Sorry, it's the faucet's been turned on.
Well, yeah, once I learn how to do it, it's hard to turn off.
She's big now. She's like well over 300 pounds. She's huge. So I don't think she's just drinking blood. These fucking lesbian vampires, man. They're fucking.
Gotta watch out in Australia.
It to be fair, you could just call her a vampire. You don't need to make sure she's calling it a lesbian vampire because she did eat a man's blood. It's not like she ate a lady's blood.
Yeah, but she was
doing both.
She was doing both.
Oh, yeah, to be fair, she was doing both. But she killed a man.
So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. You can support us by going to patreon.com/talkmurder. Find this on any podcasting app. Just search Talk Murder. Listen to our sister podcast, Among the Dirt and Trees, if you like true crime that occurs out in nature. And that's all I have for tonight's episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people.